Hey everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Today is going to be just a quick little video on all things tactics when it comes to some of the first things you want to be thinking about if you're trying to send your next hard grade, your next hard boulder problem in midlife. And this is some of the stuff that's become so important for me as I am trying to send my first V7 boulder before I turn 53. What I have found is that because I am a climber in midlife, these tactics become really important. So you really want to consider that we don't always need to be pulling harder or training for strength or to get stronger, but we can really start choosing smarter if we have this goal of climbing our next grade. So this part actually really matters. Not all V7s or not all whatever grade you may be going for are created equal. And so you want to really consider things like height dependent moves. I'm 5'1", so for me, this really matters. You want to consider hold type on the problem that you're going to choose to go for. So for me, I can't do any hard crimping right now, just due to some finger stuff going on. And so it's really important that I'm not going to choose some V7 that is a ton of hard crimping. You want to look at the style of it. What is your preferred style of climbing? What are you already pretty good at? So if you're good at compression, you're good at tension, you're good at techie. In that assessment, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, assessing your climbing, where are your strengths, where are your weaknesses. But if you're looking to send your next grade, you actually want to look for a problem that's going to fit your strengths. And so looking at compression, tension, if you're good at technical, those are going to be the kind of problems and boulders that you want to be choosing. For me, something that's really important is that it's a safe fall and that it's not too high. I have no qualms with, I am not okay with high balls, and I am totally good with that. At age 52, I have no desire to send some high ball that I might possibly fall from and then not be able to climb for a long time because of recovery or injury. So for me, it's just important to me to have a safe landing, not too big of a fall. So being able to choose something like that becomes really important. What I'm doing today is looking for boulders for my possible V7 that would fit me best. I am looking for heights of boulders. I don't want to climb super tall boulders. I'm looking for good landings and just a boulder that maybe would fit me and feel safest to me. I know that may sound silly, but at 52, that safety and not doing high balls is actually really important to me. I know some people get super stoked on it, and that's great. That is just so not me. And so that wouldn't be fun for me. And so I want to make sure I choose a boulder that tactically is going to feel okay and not cause too much nervous system overdrive. This one starts, it's a sit down start. It appears this undercling side pull. There's not too much more of a description in the book. And then you climb out here and looks like you obtain this pinch, or maybe you use it as a sloper. I don't know. You're probably heel hooking, toe hooking over here. But then it does appear to be a pretty big throw, although it seems like you have good feet, but it does look like a big move, actually. The fall is not awesome because you have these boulders back behind you. And so I'm thinking trying to make that move could feel a little weird. And then you gain the arete to top out. And there are good holds on that arete. A little tall. Oh! I can tell right away that for me, the issue would probably be being able to commit to this move. But sometimes I get on things and it doesn't feel that committing. So I always like to leave the door open. Okay, mission accomplished. So here's the thing. You don't want to burn a session. If you have a bouldering session, if you have a climbing session, you have a day to go boulder, to go try hard. You don't want to burn that day on walking around trying to find the right climb or the right boulder. So progress is really about choosing a problem that your body is going to be able to most likely solve. So I think of it like scouting is training, using rest days to hike around and scout your boulder or really scout your climb. And actually, you don't even have to hike around a lot these days. You can just watch often videos on certain climbs on boulders. Where I live, there's not a ton of climbers, so there's not a lot of videos out there on boulders. So I do have to hike around on rest days and scout different problems. Other things I think about: approach time. How long does it take to get to that boulder or that route? Because time is pretty limited for most of us. If your time is somewhat limited, there might be this perfect boulder or route, but you have to hike 2 miles to get to it every time. That might not be the best route or boulder to choose. So you really want to look at what is your approach time, trying to make it as conducive to your schedule as possible with limited time. You really want to look at this as reducing decision fatigue. You want to make the decision before you're starting to go put in hard attempts and put all your energy and time into attempting that problem, that boulder, or that climb. If you're still wandering around looking for the perfect boulder or perfect climb on your climbing day, you've already diluted that whole session. So you want to have this figured out beforehand. Time really is a performance variable. Recovery for us in midlife is not unlimited. That is just the way it is. And every bad attempt maybe on a boulder that is not a good fit for you really costs us skin, it costs us tendon recovery, it costs us nervous system output, might even cost us a little bit of confidence. So you really want to think about protecting your best attempts if your goal is to reach that next grade. So climbing your next grade really means strategic energy management. So get out there, scout your boulders, scout your problems first, or watch a whole bunch of videos. Get in there, zoom in, see what the holds are like, what the movement is like, all those kinds of things before you actually choose the boulder or climb that you are going to work on to get to your next send. See what I did there? That's the name of this. So this is what climbing smarter into midlife actually looks like. If you want to send harder in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, these are the type of tactics that we actually need to look at. We need to look at using some of these things to be able to climb our next grade. So if you found something useful or valuable in this, would you please hit subscribe? That really helps with this channel to grow and to get other midlife climbers along for the ride. So hit subscribe. If you would, hit like. Even better would be to leave a comment in the comments on what is your next grade, either in bouldering or route climbing. What's your goal right now? What are you working on sending? Love to hear those in the comments so we can chat a little bit back and forth. Thanks for watching.